Hello. So I'm back out here in the woods one more time with my Colt 1860 Army pistol. And today we're going to talk about the Kerr bullet. Now, if you watched the last video, we did a comparison shoot with the Johnson & Dow bullet from Arizona Bullet Molds, along with some 454 round ball. And we found that all 6 of the Johnson & Dow bullets hit the target. A little high, but they hit. And I mentioned I probably needed to back down the powder. And only 3 of the 5 round balls that I fired at 25 yards hit the target. So the Johnson & Dow was a lot more accurate. However, my pistol, just because of the way pistols can be, does not really like that Johnson & Dow bullet. It could be the way I've been casting it. My lead might be too hard, but that bullet was just too hard to load into the pistol. And so I talked with Mark Hubbs at Arizona Bullets Mold, who made it, and he and I swapped out, and I am going to give the Kerr bullet a try. So let's talk about the Kerr. So the Kerr bullet was a British design that was designed for the Kerr revolver. And at the beginning of the Civil War, some 9,000 Kerrs came into the United States. About 1,600 to 2,000, according to Mark. Probably about 1,600 were bought by the U.S. Army. The rest were smuggled into the Confederacy. However, along with those pistols came ammunition from the British, the Kerr bullet. And it was a nominal 44 caliber. So the Kerr bullet would work in the standard 44 calibers that the U.S. Army was buying, the Colt 1860 being the primary one. And so that's what we're going to do. I have rolled up and lubricated some Kerrs, so we have them in paper cartridges. These cartridges, once again, are these are nitrated coffee filters, so it is a combustible cartridge. And you can see that they're little flat, and that's because I have not got a full load of powder in here. I've backed off to about 21 grains of triple F powder because, once again, I'm not trying to shoot an enemy soldier at 25, 50 yards. I'm trying to punch a hole in a piece of paper. So we're gonna load up these Kerr bullets, and then we're gonna give them a try down here at 12.5 yards on the target and see how these Kerrs do. Now, nothing against that Johnson & Dow. I love that bullet. I really wanted to shoot it. It's just in my particular pistol, and you'll find this with some reproductions. Some of them, they like a bullet, some of them don't. Mine just did not like that Johnson & Dow. So we're gonna give this Kerr bullet a go. So the same way, we load it the same way that we have with all of them. Just gonna slide it in, turn it in under the handle. I can already see that it's seating pretty well. And I can tell you from loading that first one that it went in a ton easier than the previous Johnson & Dows were going in. So I'm gonna load a couple more here. Get this one to seat. This one's not wanting to seat right. That's just from the way I started it in there, I believe. Here we go. Yep, it's all the way down. And we're getting our little ring of lead. This is verifying that it is shaving itself off. This is going to help us seal that cylinder to prevent any type of a chain fire. A lot of people are under the belief that the chain fires, to stop a chain fire, you have to put some type of grease over the end of these. And that's not entirely accurate, because what stops the chain fire from happening is having a sealed bullet. And if your bullet is shaving itself off just like that every time, then that bullet is sealed. There is no way for gas to get around it. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and finish loading these other 3. I can tell you I'm already extremely excited because those 3, they loaded great. They felt like the round balls going in. And so I'm gonna load these other 3, we'll get her capped, and then when the video comes back on, we'll be down at the target and we'll see how they shoot. All right, so we have 6 Kerr bullets loaded up, 6 caps on. We're down here at the target. Target's only about 12.5 yards. I really wanna see how I do at 12.5 with it. So here we go. Cap went off, bullet didn't. Misfired the second one. Alright, we still have 2 shots left. One cap split and did not fire, and then the other cap just simply misfired. So let me load 2 more caps. Everything else is safe. All right. All right, gun's safe. Let's take a walk down here to the target. Okay, so we're gonna look at the target and I'm gonna explain something. I know from watching the target that was the first 2 shots, and I'm not making excuses, but the sun was glinting off of the front sight and I couldn't get it lined up. So that's all shooter right there. That's shooter fault, that's not the bullet's fault. Here I started taking my time. That was shots 3 and 4. And this was the 5th and 6th shot by the time I settled down and got used to it. So a little bit high, but nice and center line. So I'm going to call this a success. I believe these Kerr bullets are exactly what I'm looking for. I'm just going to have to practice, take my time, and get them all over here. Because like I said, those were the first 2. I didn't take my time. I didn't control my breathing. I just kind of popped the trigger, and that's where they went. But as you can see, all 6 right here, I'm pretty happy with that. So I would call that a successful test of the Kerr bullet. If you have any questions, you can leave me a comment. If you want to make some Kerr bullets, you can email Mark at Arizona Bullets Bolt. He'll be happy to send you one, I bet, because I definitely love mine. I'm not advertising for him. I'm just telling you, that's who I got it for. I'm not I'm not a paid advertiser, but it's a great mold. So thank you for watching and have a great day. All right, I know I just said goodbye, but then I was reminded I've got 6 more shots ready. So we're gonna go ahead and film these and see how I do. I'm gonna try to relax a little more and see if we can't get on target here. All right, we're safe. Let's go down and look at the target. Okay, so the first 6 were here, 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 and here, and here. This time we are here, 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 and here. So Not the world's best shooting, but I'm very happy with the bullet, and it'll take me a little more practice with it, but I still love shooting these old black powder revolvers and the musket and the carbines that I have. So if you have any questions, like I said just a few minutes ago, post it in the comments. I'll be happy to try to answer. I do not claim to be an expert. I just am a Civil War enthusiast that loves shooting these weapons. And if I don't know the answer, I'll try to get you one. Thank you for watching.